welcome back to Can of Worms. Again, you have myself, Cedric. We've got Chris here.
Hey, hey.
We've got Nick,
Howdy.
and we've got Brian with us. And the topic today is Destiny 2, new expansion, Beyond Light. Been out for a couple weeks now. Just dropped the raid, which hopefully you all should be seeing on the screen. We've got some gameplay from it from our group. Um, First time clearing it. We had some people in the group that had cleared it already, but it was the first time for me. So a lot of learning deaths in this clip, and also a lot of spoilers. So if you have not been spoiled on this fight yet, and I'm not quite sure how you haven't been, then just fair warning: lots of spoilers with the lore, and lots of spoilers with what you can expect mechanically. So
I don't know if that inspired too much confidence at the start of the video when you lay it out right away.
no, yeah. I mean, hopefully somebody's just like, you know what? I don't even want to fuck with this. This guy just got stomped to death. One shot.
Right?
Shit.
I was like, all right, somebody else starts raids the same as me. Good, good.
Nice.
I thought it was just me healing people. Got stomped like right away, all the time. But yeah, tell us. So, what is this raid? Is this the Deep Stone Crypt that we've been hearing about?
This is the Deep Stone Crypt that we've been hearing about. And it's where you go in to the facility. It's Bray's facility, and you're getting ready to flush out Tonkus, um, who is the final fight. And basically, it's Tonkus the Abomination, and I can't wait till we get to that fight because it's actually just an abomination. It's
Oh,
Tonkus on fucking jet skis basically. So uh, really interesting fight.
so like for people who maybe don't, play Destiny, which is actually more people than I thought will actually pay attention to like the story, kind of like I do. Um, who, or I should say, who is the Bray Company? Just real quick, and what is the Deep Stone Crypt for people who don't know? Like, could you sum that up quickly, or is it something that you just couldn't possibly
I don't know if I can
explain?
sum it up quickly, and I can sum up some of it just because I'm still in lore hunt mode myself. But Clovis Bray actually, and again, big spoilers here. So if you are a fan of the story and you haven't gotten this far, maybe just skip this week. But Clovis
Play
Bray was
through first.
actually once a human, and he did a lot of things, a lot of terrible, horrible things to humans and other races alike in the name of science, right? So he's just your generic mad scientist operating on AI slash like human hybrid
Okay.
functionality.
Typical sociopath with
Yeah,
narcissistic tendencies.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Nice.
basically, Clovis, Bray, he puts his entire family into uh, an AI form. Basically, takes their consciousness, uploads it to AI. But before that, he has all these other failed, experiments and abominations around. He experimented on, was it the Taken, I believe?
The Vex?
The Vex. Sorry, not the Taken. The Vex.
Okay.
He experimented on the Vex to no end,
Is-
to figure out, how to achieve this, and you actually meet up with Clovis Bray's AI in this facility or in a facility very similar to this.
Oh, shit. So then the AI, that's Clovis 1, or is that Clovis 2?
I think that's Clovis one.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I know that they're at some point they start numbering them. I'm assuming that they do it because like the exos were numbered.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I assumed it was something like that. So the original Clovis doesn't have a designation. He's just Clovis Bray,
Clovis Bray.
right?
Hmm.
Okay. And so the Deep Stone Crypt was kind of like, was this just his research facility that was kind of off the books?
Yeah, this was his research facility. It was off the grid. It gets uncovered on Europa. Um, and really it seems that it's a power grab for the first antagonist that you run into in the main story when you're going and you're kind of leveling up your light level. And I
Oh,
hate
okay.
this because I'm forgetting her name, but it seems like she's they're intertwined. She's trying to find some type of power here in this crypt, And you guys are just
Oh,
figuring out that this crypt is here, and not only is this crypt here, but his, just his research facility in general has been uncovered, and there's a lot of fucked up shit that just, uh, you know,
you mean Anna or the Exo Stranger?
not the Exo Stranger.
Elsie. Well, she's Elsie actually.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so I'm getting too far into that. So the Deep Stone Crypt was his like off the books, research facility,
Hmm.
and then um, this is where he created the Exos. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is where they were created. This is where he perfected it. Um, and that's kind of where that race came from in
And
general.
yeah, and so like ever since Destiny 1 came out, they kind of hinted at the Exos, but they have kept it really under wraps for what, like 7 years now?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how do you feel as a player who's actually experienced some of this stuff? Um, do you feel like it sort of lived up to the story that has been built, or I should say the mystique that's been built, or is it just another sort of uh,
I think it's
uh,
for those that follow the lore, and are really, really interested in seeing some of these offshoot stories. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the fact that Clovis Bray is involved and that you get to see this facility and understand just what he did. And it wasn't maybe always with the most ill intentions, but even still, it was very ill intended. He was very much a monster when it came to getting what he needed done. He didn't really care. He just did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. Um, but I
well, and
think
I
for
have
your casual
theories about
player,
that. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
for your casual player, you're not gonna really. It's not gonna draw you in and be like, oh, cool, yeah, I want to learn about this story.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
So the gameplay itself hasn't been, changed in, because like in some of the past expansions, like we at least we would get, some new things, and I know there are stasis powers. Um, have those were wow, start that whole day over. How have they been received? Is what I meant.
a lot of people like the stasis powers. They are cool. They're very cool looking. The effects, the teamwork effects with them, and just even what they do. Being able to free shit is the shit. Period. Like so much
Yeah.
so that it's really kind of running PvP right now in the game, and it's a problem. It's a problem.
Do you
Uh,
think it's just the newness of it, or is it that it's
no,
generally
no,
overpowered?
it's. I think it's overtuned a little bit. Again, being able, basically, getting frozen by a stasis power is pretty much a death sentence, and the problem is that everyone can do it. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a problem. I think.
Well, I know Chris, you used to play like last year pretty heavily. And Nick, have you
Yeah.
played much of Destiny 2?
Uh, I haven't. I got my ring and got out. I got my
Well, you
oh,
go
what
home.
was it? Trial, not trials. Triumph, a whatever the last big patch was where you could get the ring. I got
Oh,
my ring. I
okay.
got my T-shirt. I got my patches, and I got out.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're all having trouble with words tonight. That makes me happy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not just me.
So that's why I'm not
Um,
saying any. I just, avoid it.
well, Chris, did you not want to play Beyond Light, or are you just?
Well, so that's the thing is I'm on the fence about it. I am kind of one of the haters right now because,
Oh.
I've heard so much about Destiny in the past messing up and messing up and messing up and, kind of toying with their players a little bit. And now I'm kind of like, I did so much on that and with the what's it called, sundown on the weapons. I'm like,
Oh, with
dude, I did
Sunset.
not just yeah, sunset. Yeah, the I'm like, I do not want to have to grind for that weapon again. But then I'm noticing like all the changes, and I don't even know if it's the same game. So I'm looking into it. Um, I don't know if I actually want to play or not yet. I know three people that if I start playing that again, they'll probably come to my house and slit my throat in my sleep.
Oh,
So
wow. I
yeah,
don't want to
like I
guard you
mean,
against that. That's three people's a lot, man. I know you have
right,
weapons,
like
but
so many bullets per magazine. I swear. But
wraps. I mean, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, I have looked into it a little bit. I'm trying not to find out too much. Like, like definitely one of my questions about this, Cedric, is how is the story, like, did they just completely revamp the story? How did they play that off?
No, I mean like the story still continues. So what's been done? The vaulting stuff. I'll start with the vaulting. I
Mhm.
think it's kind of been it was a shock for everyone a little bit because they vaulted so much.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the
how much
story
did they
itself
vote?
isn't vaulted. What they've done is they've completely changed up how new players come in. So new players come in, and there's a specialized zone for them, and they run through a ton of missions that basically speed up the story and get you caught up to where we are now, to what
Okay.
happened now.
Uh,
Um,
Okay, so like when you were talking about
Um,
Clovis Bray earlier, all that stuff you did with Anna Bray on, was it Mars?
oh no, it's still okay.
Okay,
yeah,
so nothing changed, nothing got retconned.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Uh,
no,
I'm
no,
the lore junkie, I guess. I should.
oh no, no, that's fine because that's kind of where I'm at too, where it's like
They
I learned
haven't.
so
Yeah.
much about this stuff. Did it change?
Oh.
So as long as they didn't retcon, I'm very happy.
Um, are you secretly a Terminator, or was
Yeah,
that
you
only
I
switched
got
up.
it
my?
too.
Yeah, you
Okay.
started getting a little choppy at the end there. Got a
I
little
was.
bit of that packet
It's like
Damn,
loss, my dude.
I was
damn.
like your throat voice modulated thing is off the
Okay.
rails.
But no, they didn't recount any of the story. The story is still there. It's still the story's still pushing forward. But what they noticed is that, and honestly, I'm okay with the direction now that I'm in. I've played it. Is that sometimes the worlds just get too big, and I don't think that they are well equipped to handle a world that like just constantly expands without any kind of
Yeah,
shrinkage happening. And I think
Mhm.
like
you're seeing
Warframe.
that. Yeah, well, we're not gonna even get into Warframe. I'm just gonna act like you didn't even say that name.
I know
Uh,
it's gonna be way too long. I
we're
want to talk about him
not
though.
even gonna jump. I'm not
Oh
gonna touch
man.
that one. We'll segue so hard because there's so many other
Yeah.
problems with Warframe.
Next week we'll do Warframe.
That works
Seriously.
for me. That works for me. We could
All right.
even, you know what?
Yep. I know.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh no,
We'll
that's a
discuss that
great idea.
afterwards. That's a
Yep.
really good idea.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
but so
excited.
they're being proactive and they're shrinking the world as it goes. And it kind of makes me sad because I like the idea of a world that feels huge and ever
Mm.
expansive, and I
Hmm.
can go around here and dick around in these areas. Maybe they're not viable anymore, but I can still go around and mess around with them, right? So
Hmm.
Well, and
um,
you know what I think it also was is that when you get so large, and it happens with a lot of these MMOs, you get so large, and it's great to have a big world, but also for new players, it gets way too overwhelming at some point.
that's what it is, and it stops the,
Yeah.
the growth of the game because new players are just they look at it and
Well,
they go, "There's no way I
yeah.
can get caught up in this," and then they just don't play it anymore.
Oh yeah.
And
And
the zones they start in are empty, and so if they're players that don't like to solo, then they don't want to play.
exactly. Um, and it just makes it feel like the game is dead too. I mean, that could be the furthest thing from the truth. But whenever you go
Yeah.
to a zone and you literally don't see anyone for minutes, hours, like that, maybe this game's not a game I want to play. It seems dead.
Yeah. Be
Um,
like, nobody likes me. I gotta quit.
so that I like the idea of it, and I think they implemented it pretty well. Um, Now, a lot of weapons, what a lot of people are going to be mad about is that some weapons that you farmed out and it took you a while to get, they did hard cap those
What?
at 10 levels above the starting light level. So you start at 1050, and a lot of those weapons can't go past 1060.
Yeah.
And I got that because there was power creep happening and all that good stuff. But like for anybody that farmed out some of the PvP specific weapons, right?
Recluse.
Yeah. Um,
So
those
they let you
things
start with them.
those things are a lot of them are of the
Just
past.
done.
Yeah.
Oh damn, man.
Which is, but
That-
even still with that, like I said, I can understand that. You want people to
Before
try new weapons and new tactics, and if those things are still just always a thing, then they're never gonna move from that.
fair enough.
I mean, as
Yeah.
long as the mountaintop's gone.
Before we get too far away, what were you two doing with that barrier? You two were crouched like you were gonna duel for a minute, and then nothing happened.
We were
Those are
just
saber.
comparing swords like most men do. Mine was
Yeah.
bigger. So, no, actually, great segue into that. So the sword that I have on right now is the laminate. It's the exotic sword that's been showcased for the game for this expansion specifically. And what makes
Yeah.
that sword so good is it's a goddamn chainsaw sword.
Oh, like Warhammer?
Like Warhammer basically. It's so you
No.
and it's a mechanic that I haven't seen in the game. So instead of choosing C or the melee button to block with the sword, that's not a block you guys are seeing when you see me like turn it sideways. That's the
Yeah.
chainsaw revving up, and there's a combo that goes with that. So when you rev it up and you hit it, it's a combo and it shits damage. I mean, it just
Oh man.
yeah,
Does
it
it
destroys things.
does
It
it
really
do
makes me
more
wanna play.
than the oh god, what was the falling guillotine stuff that everyone was doing last batch?
I would say so.
Do you,
If not, then on the same playing field, yeah, I would say
do you
so.
do you have croc skin on your gun?
You buttercream
Croc
croc
Crocs are
skin.
never out of
Pimpin'.
style, dude.
That is amazing. Ah, I like the weapon though. I really like the scope.
Yeah, it's a nice little scout rifle, and it was best in slot in terms of power level. I took what I had. I had a slightly stronger character power level wise, but I like the warlock. Um, in fact, the first clear that was done I think with 6 warlocks. They're just too strong when it comes to raiding.
Of
So
warlocks.
yeah,
They were always my favorite.
Same.
Are they probably the most played class you would think, or do you think it might go
Titan.
to
Titans are super
bullshit?
played well, but I think warlock now is like the most played ultimate alt class. Like I think in the
Really?
beginning of the game, everyone made a hunter because hunter looks cool, right? Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus
they're
Cade 6.
actually plus K86, but after K86 dying, and just where hunters are right now, they're
Mhm.
really not in a good spot for PvP or PvE. I mean, I actually like my hunter in PvP. I ain't gonna lie, but
Well, that what was it the storm uh worm, God, I can't think of what it's called. That like staff that they had that was insane in PvP for a while. Do you
I mean,
remember that? They would
it's
like
still pretty
slide
good.
right into you from like 15 yards away and just annihilate you in like 2 hits.
Yeah, the arc staff is still good in PvP, but I mean,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's other stuff that's just as good. Like a striker titan is just as good as arc staff sometimes.
Oh, Titans were not popular when I used to play. At least it didn't feel like it.
their ultimates last so long, especially when it feels like an eternity when you're playing on PvP, and like it's just man,
Yeah.
it's
Because
just
healing as a
terrible.
warlock, man, it's different in a raid than in PvP. Like in a raid, you can hope that they won't see you, but a human is going to be like, "Where are you going, bitch?" Like chase you down
Yep,
inside of your
yep.
circle and
That healing
annihilate.
will is just it. There's not too many like factors in PvP for it. Now I use it as BM, so if I kill someone, I'll just drop the well on top of them just to be a dick. But
Just teabagging with that white kind of stuff, just floating below.
yeah,
Take it as you
splash.
will.
So
Ah,
let me talk a little bit about the mechanics here because we've had the footage on for a little bit. So this whole raid works around these buffs you get, and you just saw someone pick one up. So they work around uh operator buff and a scanner buff, and later on another buff that's supposed to stun the boss or a boss. So 3 buffs total that are in this game. And so each buff, obviously, you have a different job. Scanners typically are going to look and tell us what uh, doors are open or bays are open because uh, there's a lot of nukes happening in this dungeon, like actual nukes, like us having to
oh,
spell nuclear like energy before it explodes. There's a lot of make it go boom shit in this raid.
facility.
Yeah.
Nice.
And in fact, that's what we're doing here. Like, there's just this energy flowing through these fallen exo. What happens basically? Our operator has to we have to kill these 3 servitors, right? And then our scanners have to tell us where basically which exo to attack. And I actually didn't run the operator portion of the operators had to open up the door. So the scanners told us which exo to shoot or kill rather because you see we use a sword strategy on it and then the operators had to open up the bay doors. Once we kill these exos or the right exo, we're gonna pick up a wisp looking like thing, and we're gonna take it to one of those bay doors and expel it out before it kills us. So here's when we've got to kill this one over here, right? So we're gonna combo it up, bing bing bing. See, that's the lemon in action. He picks up the buff, but he picked it up with the other buff that he has. So now we've got a problem because he has to get rid of the operator buff before he dispels that.
Oof.
So then he takes it out there. It's got to drop off, and he's got to run out of those doors again before the doors close again, because that's basically a shoot straight out into space.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about that. And so the thing, that wisp thing that he's carrying, is that anything specific? Like, because I know that there's like the Vex Radiolaria stuff that's in their suit, and then the Exos have sort of. Is that the Exo version of that Radiolaria stuff? Like where the actual person's contained?
No,
Is that why you
well,
can't
I
tell?
honestly don't know. I won't say no because it could be, but it all that we knew or all that I knew was that if we didn't dispel that, then everything exploded. So I hope that's not where they actually like exist, because that just means they're just self-destructing on us, and that sucks. But
Yeah, no, that's why I was curious if you were, because like if that's what's happening, like you're actually taking whatever the being is and shooting that out
eating
into
it right
space,
out
so
into
they can't,
space, yeah.
so they can't just hop into another body and be like, all right, let's do this again. Round 200. Um, yeah, but how long has the campaign been? Because I've heard, as a complaint, I've heard that a lot.
um, campaign is short.
Is it?
Campaign's maybe 3-4 hours or so.
Is it? Ooh,
But I mean, the campaigns have always been short.
They have
yeah,
that's nothing new, right?
true, but 3 or 4 hours is really
And
skimpy on.
now I say 3 or 4
Yeah,
hours, but that's like the main bulk of the campaign. The campaign continues once you've hit
True,
the soft
true.
cap and you've done the fight with whatever person you're supposed to fight there. They're not dead at that point, and they're not done doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you
Right,
do all
and
these other
that's what.
campaign quests to figure out what their plan is or what they're up to or what they did in the shadows, and that it's still the same formula. That's why I was saying, like, a lot of people didn't. To Chris's point, a lot of people didn't want to come back to this expansion because they didn't know what to expect. They thought the formula was going to be different. The formula's
Okay.
not different from story wise.
Well,
It's not different.
and they really can't get away from that method because that's kind of how they keep the whole thing. ah, Gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say it's how they keep you playing a smaller amount of content, but that's really what it is. It's they slow everything down at the end because if they don't, you'll be done in like 2 weeks and
Oh yeah,
really done.
and their way of adding like vapor content is, well, you want to get to this power level so you can raid, better make a new character and go through it all over again, right?
either that or grind your powerfuls.
Well, even that. So it's impossible. The way it's set up now, and the way it's always been set up actually, is it is impossible to grind to hard cap on one character in the first week. 100%,
Really?
it's impossible. So what you
Mhm.
can get to, you get to like, you get to soft cap, which is 1200 easily, and then you can get to like, close there. You get
Back
like
then.
1220 or whatever the case is, right? But 1220 was just the entry fee to get into the raid. So this raid requires 1220 minimum.
My characters are like 800.
Your characters
I
actually
haven't
got
played.
boosted, or they should have gotten boosted by the
Oh,
changes to
okay.
1050 minimum. So,
Yep.
Oh,
um,
nice.
so that's, yeah, like they want to take players that have, if you want to come back, they want you to be able to pick up and play, and that's what their big changes are.
I
But
did play Shadowkeep for like a week, but I'll be honest, man, I didn't like the moon.
I
I,
love the moon. I really enjoyed everything about Shadowkeep.
really?
Yeah, I did. I
Shadow
think it's a
Shadow
freaky place. I love to see them go back to it and do more, and I want them to scare the shit out of us. Like, honestly,
Great.
that's I really wish we just continued on the moon and got into some real dark ass shit with
Well, I think we're going to with the Hive, you mean, and Eris?
and Eris
And
Moon, yeah.
well, because
Morn.
yeah, exactly. And the one after this is supposed to be the Witch Queen. And that's the one I will get no matter what,
Yeah.
because she's always been my favorite character. Um, this one, and I think that was another issue that people had, is that they felt like there was no real big bad for this expansion because you have the Witch Queen in the next one, and then with the third planned one being Lightfall, that's obviously going to be your final conflict between light and dark. Uh, so this one, I think some people felt like there wasn't a really engaging story,
There,
even
there,
though,
there really isn't.
yeah.
What they did with the story is they wanted to showcase the new stasis power. So like the big bad is really just showcase. Well, I take that back. Okay, I will take that back actually, and here's why. It is showcasing the new stasis power, but more importantly, it's showcasing the first thing we've seen in the game in this storyline, which is the ability to harness dark power
That
from the
we had to.
darkness, right? And it's
Yeah.
actually it's what I found really interesting and cool is it is completely separate from your light skills. So if you want to switch over and use stasis, it's on a separate bracket inside the actual like character
Oh,
screen. Like you can't. It's not now four skills there. It's three on one side, and then you got to click over to the dark side and choose stasis, which
oh,
means there's more dark skills coming.
it also means you had to make a choice, which I wonder if they're going to play with that at all. I doubt they will in a really impactful way, but
It's very subtle. If you don't pay it, like if you're just in your power screen and you're like, oh, where's my stasis? Oh, there it is. Okay, I gotta click on it. Bow.
mm,
But they're not
I wonder.
lined. They're not aligned the same way. And I looked at that and I thought about that. And I was like, well, that definitely means we're getting more dark skills. More skills are set to come
Hmm.
up. And I'm really, like you said, I'm really wondering where they're gonna go with the story in terms of light versus dark. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah.
Lightfall's going to be the end of it because they wanted to be a games as a service, but
I think
it's
that
coming
was
to a
their
head.
plan then. Just because, yeah, exactly. There's no like the light and the dark. The way that they explain it, they're like two absolutely, like, I'm not going to go into what paracausal means and everything else, but like they exist outside of everybody else, and there is no other like anything above that. So when the two of them go at it, that's kind of the end.
That's what. Well,
One
they
of them's
kept
not
they
going to
kept
have to go.
hinting, or your ghost kept hinting to this as well. Your ghost cannot exist when dark power is involved. Like your ghost is made purely of light, so
Yeah.
you having stasis, while it's not seen in gameplay right now, when you have stasis, it's not a big deal. Your ghost obviously revives you. In the story, in this expansion, your ghost kept telling you how much of a toll it was taking on him, and at the
Oh,
end, it was like, you know, I may not be able to bring you back because I may not be able to help you because this goes against everything that I am.
that's
And
creepy.
so there
Ugh.
could be a point that they go, all right, if you want to use dark skills, you are no longer considered a guardian.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna do that. It would be kind of cool, I got to admit, especially if there was a way back. Um, you know what I mean? Like if you decided you wanted to go back, light side. Um, Not if it was easy, but yeah, they made it something kind of cool. I doubt they will. It's just too much to deal with, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. And it did bring one point up, Chris, when you were talking about, you said how they had changed the story.
Yeah.
Um, and you're not the only person I heard that from, and I'm wondering if, because isn't there something to do with sort of an alternate universe that the Exo Stranger originally came from? There's like a storyline there, and I think there are even missions, maybe.
There are
Okay,
millions of that's the curse of Osiris, which the expansion was just
did
Ass.
not expound on
yeah,
like it should
it
have.
was literal doo doo water. But the story that they could have expanded upon on that was great. The fact that Osiris had went through all of these simulations of our outcome, and there was only one outcome where we actually won.
Yeah, and this was before the Avengers. God damn it! It's not Doctor Strange. Um, I always liked that storyline, but yeah, they did not. That was back when they were with Activision, and Activision had like hard deadlines for every single expansion, and that's why they needed. You know how much help they got when they worked. Um, at Activision in terms of other development studios that were just ripped off of their own projects.
Oh,
And
they got
yeah,
very little help, and they kept wanting to shave it into different like they wanted to eventually go into works in making a Destiny 3, and they were like, "Dog, we didn't want to make a Destiny 2."
yeah, no, they not even like they wanted to, like they were going to make them do Destiny 3 before, like at one point, as they were with Activision, they actually had to contemplate doing like a second, um, you know, the thing that happens at the beginning of Destiny when the darkness comes, and I can't remember the name of it. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. They were going to do a second one of those, and basically wipe everything to do a Destiny 3 because that's how kind of overbearing that Activision was. But then, now they have to kind of change things up, go back to what they kind of originally wanted to do.
Yeah.
So,
But going back to something you all were talking about before about the lore and everything, one thing I really loved that Destiny did was it gave you just enough lore to keep you not questioning why you're going and shooting all these people, you know? But if you really wanted to get in the meat and potatoes, it was out there and you could go and find the lore and you could find all the stuff. Like one of my favorite storylines absolutely was the Cade 6 thing.
oh my God, yeah.
Like finding all those treasure chests and getting those notes from him and stuff like that was eerie in the coolest sense of the word. Like I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, it was, you
Like
know,
listening to an
it didn't
exhale.
want, yeah, people that didn't care about all that stuff didn't have to do it. If you wanted to know more, you went, you did it, you found out the storyline. It was pretty cool. I really love that about the Destiny series.
Yeah. And I think any game that actually does that sort of, well, Dark Souls and Destiny have both done it, where you have to kind of learn the story for yourself.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Mhm.
anytime they challenge you and they don't give you everything right away, I think those are the actually my favorite because you really want to find out more because they
Yeah.
don't just spoon feed it to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Destiny's story is actually really pretty damn good. It's just not in the game. It's
Oh yeah.
unfortunate.
Well, I mean, a lot of people sit there and say, "Oh, Destiny doesn't have any storyline, and it's really horrible storyline." And you know, what did they pay their writers for? And I'm like, you really
You would
didn't
have
try
skipped it.
to write. Like you know those quests that you didn't do? I mean,
Like,
it's
where'd
like,
you go to
oh,
school, man?
right,
Dumbass, can you read? Nope. I can read deeps.
right. Oh man.
Warcraft. Yeah.
I'm one of the horrible people that never. I couldn't tell you anything about Destiny's story at all. Like I have over 50 completed raids. I can't tell you a goddamn thing about any of them. I can
Really?
tell you that
Because
Kind of.
I can tell you the mechanics and how to beat it, and that's it.
Yep.
you know every storyline that has ever come out of Japan, but you couldn't tell me the story for Destiny
I
after
want to
50
do the
raids?
shoot bang, Brian.
I don't know what that is, but is
Either,
that like
but it sounds
mukbang but
awesome.
nasty? Because I don't.
It's like a mukbang with a gun in my mouth.
Oh God, Jesus.
Well, where's the food getting stuff?
In the muzzle.
Oh, you know what?
It's
I
like
don't even
a
know.
super soaker full of
Oh
food.
God.
Like your 12 gauge Oreos, you know.
Oh, and here comes the band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right around the 45-minute mark.
But no, like I strictly played Destiny like 2 raid and 2 PvP, 2 trials, yeah. Like like I didn't care about the store. I was like, "Hey, how many people we got for Gambit tonight though?"
Hey,
Maybe you should have
Gambit's a
tried
lot of
Hooked on
fun.
Phonics to English.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm I really am
But I
joking.
mean,
But
like I said, like I like I I had falling out with the group I did all my trial stuff with and everything, but like I got my ring for whatever the last patch was for Shadowkeep to get all the raids and shit done. I got my name on every clear for all the raids on raid report,
oh, yeah.
and I got my trials gear, I got my Gambit gear, and I got out.
There
I
you go.
mean, the thing is, like, Bungie did do a really good job with combat, like FPS wise. So I
Yeah,
don't.
it's the Halo we never got.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
100%.
Also, I'm not a huge Halo fan. I'm trying to play through them right now. I just finished Reach like
I
this week.
I
Dude,
adore
so
Halo, and it's a shame how it just suddenly falls apart.
yeah, like 4, the storyline in 4 was really good, and then just I'm scared to see where it's going.
Because
Um,
even
Was it
Reach,
4?
I didn't think was that bad. I thought it was okay. I thought
well,
it was as good as ODST.
I
isn't
thought
it?
Reach was great. Reach is one of my favorites.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say I actually really liked Reach. I just finished and I was like, oh shit! So this is before Halo One.
yeah, but I mean, it was like after Reach was the biggest. Like, oh, this is a different company, isn't it?
So that is when Bungie left, right? Was after Part 4.
Uh, shit, they left. I think majority of the staff. I think it was a Wrath of the Lich King situation where a lot of staff left, and it was almost like a skeleton crew that they were just filling in the blanks. And then eventually, the entire studio got moved to 343. After
Wow.
was it Reach that did 343, or was it after that?
Reach did 343.
Yeah, I thought so.
I guess I said that
And if
backwards.
that's the case, they did a
343
great
did
job, all
Reach.
all things considering, man.
Well,
I mean,
I thought Halo 5 was their first because I know that Halo 5 did not get received very well at all, at all, at all. Wait, hold on. Halo 5 is the one that had the guy from SVU, right?
What?
Seriously,
they had a lot of guest
actors.
star
Sh-
characters and that
you
stuff in
shitting me?
there.
That sounds awful. It's like when they got fucking Peter Dinklage to do the Ghost in fucking Destiny 1.
I mean,
Well,
Matt Nathan Fillion. That's nothing new to this genre though. Nathan Fillion for Ghost for the
ah,
first
True.
half of
Oh,
D2, and then they
I
changed
just
it up
want
when he
Nathan
died.
Fillion to find solid
True.
work. Like I
Find
love
solid work. No, he's a leaf on
right.
the wind.
Oh, that's too soon still. I don't care if it was like 40 years ago. Oh god.
I loved the commercial spot for Destiny 2 when he was like, and we're gonna go kill Gary. Shit, what's his name? He's like, and it was like a live action commercial, man. It's hilarious. I remember they must have spent a bundle on all the ads for um, the original launch. You remember they had a whole bunch of guest spots um, playing Guardians. You
Yeah.
guys remember that?
Yeah.
Like the
I
guy
was
from The
not
Office, I
into
think.
the Destiny 1 thing, man.
You what now?
I was not into Destiny 1 at all.
I
Did
wasn't
I break
either
up?
actually.
I don't know. This is Destiny 2.
Yeah, Destiny 2, their marketing was
Insane.
it
Oh,
kind of
okay.
reminds me a lot of like the only thing I can like think to
Wow.
compare it to is some of the more recent like marketing for Final Fantasy 14 where you
Hmm.
get like Hannibal Burris and
What?
what the fuck, who's the kid that plays the current Spider-Man?
I know who you're talking
Oh, I know you're
about.
talking about. Yes, yes,
Oh,
you're
yes.
right.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14's advertisement where oh my god, why can't I remember the kid's name?
Tom Holland?
Uh Tom
Holland,
Holland. Tom
yeah.
Holland wants to
Yeah.
be a freaking I can't remember if he wants to be a Dark Knight or a
It was a Dark
Gunbreaker.
Knight.
He
I
was a
remember
yeah.
that so
And
much. Yes.
Hannibal's like, "Dog, what are you doing?
Yeah. Oh,
Why
it
are
was
you doing push-ups with a sword?"
speaking
One of my
speaking of
favorite
14,
comedians. Oh
I can't wait to cover that because there's some stuff happening in the next like week and a half or so that might just get me to dibble and dabble back into it.
For
Let's
what?
do it in 2 weeks because I've been on the fence too. And if we're doing Warframe next week, then or if we do Warframe on Wednesday, we'll do Final Fantasy next week, like
Oh,
Sunday.
I'm all about it.
I
This
think
is
that's good
this is my
because
fault.
Is that good?
Yeah.
yeah, it happens on the 8th.
Okay.
So I think that might be good tracking.
And the 8th is, oh man, yeah, because we want to do that before Cyberpunk because after that comes out, there will be nothing else.
Yeah.
Well,
Or at least
I can
coverage
talk.
wise,
I
for
can
2
talk to
months.
you about some cyberpunk stuff. I can
Break
actually.
your whole body in half if you spoil anything.
No, not that. I have an idea since I have them
Oh.
resolved.
Wow.
Sorry, that is one thing I actually do want to go blind. into that game.
Oh no,
Contain yourself.
absolutely. And see, the thing is too that's gonna wreck it for me is I so need to upgrade my computer before I'll even be able to. Well, I could probably run it, but not
Not the
very
way you
well.
want. Not the way you
Right.
want.
Like I can't see Keanu Reeves in full glory. I don't want to see it.
I mean, you can't,
Right.
customize your fucking genitals and only have that shit playing at a certain fucking, level.
Resolution?
Just so no
Yeah.
one steals
It's
this
like
joke, by the way. So with
it's gonna look
Cyberpunk.
like you have cookie dough hanging off the front of your
Well,
character. It's
I
gonna be
know, right?
gross.
No, I want to make a female character, but I want her to have like a
That doesn't
17
change
inch.
anything.
No, I
Oh
want her to have a
god.
17-inch, and I want to call her the hyena.
No, no, man, you're missing out. You gotta call her Clitoris Rex.
Very good, Evan.
I got a big and little arms.
Dude, but the hyena fits so much better because the females actually have like these crazy. I mean, we're probably gonna edit this out. God, I hope. But no, like, yeah. Fun
No,
fact:
this is fresh.
Man,
they
this
have
is
This is
gonna
fake
be
fresh.
people showing up at your house with a psychiatrist
Yeah,
going,
we're
Right.
showing
should
off
talk.
we're showing off the Destiny raid and stretching into Discovery Channel territory.
Yeah.
You wanting to be a woman is nothing new, but the hyena thing scares us. Let's sit down, have a discussion about this. Anyway,
So we have to have this discussion.
no,
One more.
I think that's a good idea, and I do want to do that. I'm also though in the same boat where my computer will run Cyberpunk, and like at 1080, I'll probably be able to run it everything maxed. But I do want to have like a 3 series card, or I wanted to by now, so that I could run it, at least at like 1440 maybe.
Yeah.
With like, does it have ray tracing? Oh shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. I was gonna say I thought it did, but I wanted to see it like in all its glory, but I want to play it too badly for that. I'll wait for a second playthrough for that. Fuck it. Anyway, probably about time to, I guess, wrap things up then for this one. So, Destiny 2, though, Cedric, you're the only one who's played, but you've been enjoying it overall. Would you
I've been
say?
enjoying it. The bigger thing is I think the studio has decided to really focus on Volta Glass 2.0 raid. And what I'll say is that this raid is a lot of fun. You will enjoy it. The mechanics aren't too hard. It's actually a really good raid to get into if you're new to the game and you're new to raiding in general.
But does it feel like a placeholder? Like that's not the
It,
one
it,
they
it
wanted
definitely
to start
feels
with?
like a placeholder. This isn't the raid that's supposed to make you cuss your friends out or anything like
Showcase.
that. So it's a
Yeah.
very new player friendly raid. If you've never raided before, I highly suggest that you get yourself to at least light level 1230 because that's when you're going to be able to pretty much do enough DPS to get it done. Certain parts are going to be tight. Get to 1230, grab you 5 friends, take this raid on. It's not hard. There aren't many encounters. You can clear it in a day or two. We cleared it in one night. It took us about 3 hours to do it. Shortest time by far for a raid. So do that.
Yeah. What about so new players, just real quick, would they be able to find if they came into this without like actual real life friends, would they be able to find people online to actually raid with? Are there enough people to do that? Is it pretty
There,
well
there
populated?
is a Destiny 2 website that you can go to. It's like looking for raid website. Go in there, put up a post. People will respond to it, give you their in-game tag. You can invite them to your party, and you can go and
Okay.
most of them are pretty nice. If you don't like them, kick them and get someone else.
There's also like if someone is following Destiny 2 streamers, a lot of those larger Destiny 2 streamers have Discord channels that you can join for free, and
Okay.
they have tons of looking for group
Oh,
channels.
absolutely.
Oh, great. Great. Yeah. So new players shouldn't have any trouble, no matter the platform.
None at all.
Really.
Get out of your shell. Ask someone to play with you. People are more than willing to run you through it and tell you and show you the mechanics. There's even if you don't want to be spoiled with the mechanics being told to you and you want to just have the authentic experience of clearing it and figuring it out on your own. There are what they call fresh parties and clears, so that you don't get told mechanics and guys figure it out as a group. And they know that that's gonna take a while. Just make sure you explain that. Hey, looking for a fresh, clear group. To experience the full raid, and people will be all about it.
Nice. So I guess the one last thing I would say then is, do you guys have any streamers that you would recommend for people who don't watch Twitch normally? Like, you were saying that some of the streamers have bigger discords where they could kind of find other people.
Off top of my head, I can't honestly think of any because I can't, I don't watch any of them.
I am
Honestly.
truly drawing a blank. There is one guy that I really do like his content. He what he does, he runs people through you know, some of the hardest content, some of the hardest, nightfalls or strikes or whatever the case is, and he helps them get those cleared. And I just can't think of his name, but he's great.
I
If you
know.
think about it, we'll put it in the description later.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably the biggest one. mm, I know one of the biggest ones right now is Glad, GLADD.
DD, yeah.
Does a lot of raid content, does PvP stuff, and just plays
I
the game a
mean,
lot.
I know that like the guy that I like to listen to for lore was Myelin. It's Myelin. He is streaming a lot because COVID has like fucked up his PhD position that he was going to get when he finished school. So he's been kind of like streaming to kind of make up money. I know you can definitely follow him. There's also My Name is Byf,
Yep.
which is BYF. Phenomenal guy when it comes to what his knowledge of the game is insane. I don't even know where he gets all this shit, but I watch his videos all the time.
He
So
he gets some of the information is gifted to him, and a lot of it he finds on his own as well. But yeah, my name is Biff. Is just he's a legend when it comes to lore
beast.
in general. Yeah,
Yeah.
he really is.
I mean, Godfall, he did a better job telling the story of Godfall than Godfall did.
That's
Like,
true.
which I guess shouldn't surprise me, but Anyway.
So much disappointment.
So I guess that'll probably be it for us tonight. I mean, do you have anything in close that you want to say about Destiny?
Pick it up. There's definitely another raid coming up. If you never played Destiny 1, then you're gonna get a chance to fight Crota with the Vault of Glass 2.0 raid that's coming out. No time frame on that, but if you're interested, pick it up. I think it's worth the pickup. Yeah.
I think I might have to pick it up for that too. Well, all right. I guess that's gonna be it for us for this Sunday. I guess we'll talk to you on Wednesday with a bit of Warframe.
Yeah.
Yeah.